All right, we got the Excursion back in the shop after a couple good test drives. It's running much better. Still has a miss or two. Okay, so under throttle with a light load, we get a misfire. You can feel it. The coat, it's not sending any codes because it hasn't gone through its readiness state yet, but we were basically running it without a thermostat. We drove it for about 3 hours with the cooling system cleaner in it. And then I've done 2 flushes since with clean water to get everything out. So it's ready. We're gonna put the thermostat in and then fill it up with coolant. We're also gonna change the engine oil and filter now that it's warmed up and been driven. So we'll get all that nasty oil out, get a new filter on there, and then with the thermostat in there, hopefully it gets up to temperature and we can get it finished on its readiness test and actually identify which cylinder. Also went by Summit Racing and picked up 3 fuel injector connectors because we found those 2 of them are broken, and actually 1 clip was broken and 2 wires are broken. So hopefully that might be what our misfires are from. We got 2 on the driver's side and 1 on the passenger front. So we'll get those fixed and then we'll go from there. So I'm gonna get the oil drain pan underneath there, start the engine oil drain, and then we'll get started on fixing the electrical connectors. All right, guys, so we're got the engine oil draining. While it's draining, I'm fixing the terminals for the fuel injectors. Figured I'd show you what was. So this one was actually broken where the locking pin is, and then you can actually see that some of the housing is broken too, where that green wire is. So this one would not lock onto the injector, so it could vibrate loose, especially if stuff gets warmed up. So that was on cylinder number 6 on the very front drivers. And then see if you can tell on the camera, this is cylinder 9. You can see that red wire is broken, and there's a few strands still connected, but obviously we got some issues with that. I have 2 of them like that, number 1 on the passenger side and number 9 on the driver's side. So I'm gonna replace, just cutting them back, and I'm soldering in new connectors just like this. And that should take care of all my broken and damaged in fuel injector and coil connectors. So hopefully that's what's causing the misfires. If not, then we'll move on. Some of the coils look like the original, so could be needing to replace some more coils, but at least we eliminate these as possibilities. We inspected all the other ones. So I'm gonna solder up that one, do the one on that side, reconnect everything. I'll put some electrical tape on here, and then we'll install the thermostat, put the intake back on, and then we'll pull the oil filter and clean it or replace it. We'll be able to add some oil and coolant. So, all right, let me keep going. All right, guys, so got an ABS light, no check engine light. So I'm not getting any diagnosis codes. This older vehicle doesn't let me monitor misfires in each cylinder. It just gives me a total misfire count. I can feel the misfire. It's not terrible, but it is there. You can hear it in the tailpipe. We do have an ABS light, but that ABS light is the front right wheel speed sensor. So probably needs to be replaced. I found a pine cone shoved up inside there. But the good thing is on my Autel I can run a power balance test, and I can see that cylinder 2 is the one that's dropping out. So I'm gonna shut it off, and I'm gonna switch cylinder 2 coil with something else after I check connections. Maybe switch it to the other side, the driver's side. Since 2 is the second one back on the passenger side, and I might switch it to 6, which will be the front right one. But yeah, let's see if that helps us narrow it down. All right, so I swapped the coil from 2 to 6, and now we don't have the misfire on 2, we have the misfire on 6. So it tells us it's a coil issue. It is a Motorcraft coil, so it might be an original coil. But yeah, I need to get another coil. All right, guys, so we're back in the shop. It's late. It's like about 2:30, 3 o'clock. Had to do a bunch of running. Went to the DMV. We got license and registration all taken care of for the Excursion. Yesterday, we ended by identifying a misfire on cylinder number 2. We switched coils with number 6. The misfire followed to number 6, so we knew that coil was bad. We did a test under load, just driving it, and we're getting misfires, random misfires, specifically between 1800 RPMs to 2400 RPMs on the other 7 cylinders. So it's kind of, I think the coils are starting to fail. So we just decided we're going to replace all of them. So we picked up, last night we ordered 8 coils. They came in, picked them up at Napa. So we got 8 coils we're going to throw on here and then see if that fixes. That should take care of all our misfires and not have to worry about it on this road trip. We were going to buy a couple and if we had to change them along the way, but for the money, we just decided let's throw in 8 new coils. So all 10 coils will be replaced and matching, so we should be good there. We got a loose lower ball joint. I thought it was a wheel bearing, but it's a loose lower ball joint on the front passenger. So I got both upper and lower ball joints for this side, plus the ABS sensor for the wheel speed sensor will be showing up tomorrow. So we'll get that when it comes in. We got all the fluids to do the front, rear axles, transmission, and transfer case. So right now, we're gonna do the coils, do a test run, make sure that's set it, and then the battery needs a hold down clamp. I think I have one on my parts F-150. It looks similar to it, so we'll get that installed. But we got new coolant in here, Motorcraft yellow. It's been doing good, no leaks. We have the stuff to do power steering, so we're gonna do a power steering flush. I don't know if that'll be done before our road trip, but that is on the schedule. That is on the list of things we want to do, is replace both power steering and brake fluid. So that might be when we get back. But yeah, so right now we're gonna throw in the coils, take it for a test drive, make sure we're good, and then we'll get it back in here, get it up on jack stands. Oh, and the alignment's way off. The steering wheel is basically off about 20 degrees. So when you turn on a turn signal and it doesn't lock, you gotta sit there and hold it. She tracks fine down the road, but obviously it's not aligned properly. So we'll try to do a string alignment on it as well once we get up on jack stands. All right, let's get after it. All right, we got all the coils installed. Kind of hard to see in there, but they're all there. We're just gonna double check fluids and get a fire up, go for a test drive, see if we got any misfires. So we're getting ready to drain fluids, and we're under here. This drain plug, you notice all the residue. This drain plug wasn't even tight on the transfer case, so let's see what the fluid looks like. Luke's helping me drain it. It's gonna come back at you. Oh, that is nasty. At least it had oil in it, but so that's supposed to be Mercron. I think I'm going to be running LV, but yeah, it should be Mercron in there, and it doesn't look like Mercron at all. Pretty nasty stuff. All right, the transmission is pretty nasty too. It looked about the same color. So it'll have all new fresh fluid. All right, we're going to keep on draining fluids. Luke's helped me put some fresh Mercron LV transmission fluid into the transfer case. You don't want to run the Mercron 5, which is what, or V, whatever you want to call it, which is what you use in the 4R100 transmission. You do not want to put it in your transfer case. So keep that in mind. All right, we're going to keep filling this up until it's all done, and then we'll move on and pull that transmission pan. Just put them onto the ground so you don't lose them.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and drop her down, straight down. Guess we gotta move the cross member. At least there's a filter in there. Okay, I'll take the pan. We'll just let it drip into the oil pan. Okay. All right, so you can see in the pan, it's pretty nasty. I doubt it's been serviced in quite a while. Good thing is we're not seeing any bad debris in it. So Luke will pour it in this drain pan. Let's see. A little closer, Luke. It doesn't splatter on you. So it's amazingly, as bad as the fluid is, just a little debris around the magnet. So that's not bad. We'll get this cleaned up and get a new filter on there, get it back together. All right, we got our new filter, new pan's all cleaned up the magnet. So we're all good to go. We're gonna slide under here and get this installed and button up the transmission. All right, Luke's pulling the bolts off the rear differential cover. See how nasty this oil is, huh? Oh, you might need a ratchet to get it high, huh? Just kind of work it nice and back. That doesn't look too bad. I expected it to be in bad shape.
It smells.
Just let her drain. Well, that's good news. It's not in terrible shape, so once we get the cover off, we'll see. Make sure there's no damage in there, and we'll get some fresh 75 140 synthetic in it. All right, Luke's got the cover off. Looks good in there. Not seeing any damage. Looks like an open differential, no limited slip. But oil's clean, gears look good, so we'll get everything cleaned up and sealed back up and some fresh gear oil in it. Then we'll move on to the front axle. All right, we got the cover all cleaned up. Nice layer of silicone, gasket material. We let it sit for a bit so it starts to set up, and we're gonna go install it. All right, Luke's taking off the front differential cover. So once he gets all those out, we'll inspect it and get new gear oil in there. The front takes 75/90. The rear took 75/140. So both are gonna be synthetic. All right, we'll get these bolts out of here and catch up with you guys after we get the cover off. Oil looks good on this one too. Turn it down your arm. Push your screwdriver up in there further. There you go. All right.
Okay, Dad.
Luke's putting the gear oil in the front.
I'll press the plug.
It's right here.
Okay.
Sorry about that, I had bad timing. Luke's putting the gear oil in the truck, in the front.
Hey!
All right, so got the right front wheel off. We're going to work on this side. I got some WD-40 on all my joints. I have to pull this caliper off, caliper bracket, and then the rotor to get to our ABS sensor. But then we're also going to try to change ball joints, so we'll have to tear it down even more. We'll pull the axle half shaft out, take apart the hub. So this whole thing's going to get tore down so we can do the ball joints. Then we'll put a new brake sensor, ABS wheel sensor on there, and we'll put it back together. All right, so we pulled this sensor off, and this stayed inside, so I pulled it out. It looks like that sleeve is still in there, so you can see the tone ring for the ABS wheel sensor. But we got to get that out so we can get the new one in. So we're gonna try to figure that one out, and we'll catch back up with you. But yeah, this is the inside part of the magnet for the wheel speed sensor. All right, boys and I were able to get this. This was what was broken off. It's just plastic. We just used it in one of our extractors, and came out with everything we needed, so. We'll get the new one in there and go from there. See if we can fix that ABS light. All right, guys, got the Excursion back in the shop. Finally got the wheel bearings and ball joints that we need. So that's what we're gonna work on today. We're gonna basically, hopefully, the goal today is have all the mechanicals done on the truck. So it's running, driving. We're still trying to locate some new wheels, and we can get some tires on there. We just don't like these. We thought about painting them. I think it's gonna look tacky either way. But yeah, so let's get this front end tore apart, and we're on this side, upper and lower ball joints. We're gonna replace the wheel bearing hub assembly. The shock's already been replaced. We got that installed. The one for the driver's side, they sent the wrong one, so we sent it back and we got the right one, so we'll put that on today, and yeah, hopefully take it for a test drive, get all the mechanicals done. So the only thing left would be some body work with in regards to the paint on the roof, but at least we can start driving it, maybe take it for a road trip. All right, let's get this wheel pulled off. All right, guys, we got the hub off. Now just kind of paint a picture here. When I felt for looseness in the wheel bearing, I did not feel it. I felt looseness in the lower ball joint, very little. But when I'm driving it, I'd get an interesting howl. So I was pretty sure it was a wheel bearing. So I just got the hub assembly off. Take a look at what's inside. See if I can zoom in on that. Right there is one of my needle bearings. So yeah, the wheel bearing, oh, it's missing more than just one. If you look up there, it's a pretty good sized gap. Sorry for this camera movement, but yeah, that's my wheel hub assembly. So I'm definitely glad we decided to change these out. These come with a new ABS sensor, so that solves that problem as well. All right, let me continue to tear this down. I'm gonna be doing the ball joint next. So. All right, so we just finished up getting this driver's side back together. On this side, the ball joints were good, so we just replaced our wheel hub, and that which came with a new ABS sensor as well. Greased everything up. We put a new seal, inner hub seal. That way the vacuum will work. One thing we noticed, though, the vacuum hose for the four-wheel drive is completely rotten. So I'm gonna look for some more, see if we can find some. But now we're just gonna replace this front shock and we'll be done, other than the vacuum hose. We'll get this front shock replaced, put the wheel on it. Then we got a few other things. We have the rear shock in the back to do, and brake pads for the back, and a coolant reservoir tank. So we're just gonna keep on getting this thing finished, get it on the road. All right, we got the passenger side rear brakes replaced. We just did the brake pads, but definitely need it. Check out these brake pads. Yeah, it wasn't much left. So good thing we didn't end up going for that road trip before replacing these. So all right, this side's done. I'm gonna throw the wheel on there, and then we'll do the driver's side rear, throw some new pads on there, and then we'll swap out that shock. Guys, we're back at the house. We just checked over the Excursion. This is gonna be its test run tow. So it's gonna be making 2 trips across the mountains, towing 2 cars, a LR3 and a F350. So it's gonna get its a good workout in. This is its maiden voyage, I guess. We've done some short test runs, but we're loaded up. It's about, we got hit construction coming back over the mountain, so we're a little delayed. So we're right around 6 o'clock in the evening. So expect to get back to where the truck's at probably about 9-10 o'clock, and then depending on how they let me put it in there, I'm going to, we're either going to spend the night over there or bring it back and then go back and get the truck. So we're getting loaded up, and we'll keep you guys updated. All right, guys, we are stopped off here, Jackson Rancheria, to top off the fuel tank. It's about 11:30 at night. Got about 2 hours left to get home. Excursion's doing good, surprisingly. Transmission temperature, a little, I mean, we're keeping her below 210, so that's good. But yeah, she's holding together. I'm just keeping the speed around 50, 45 to 50, just because a lot of deer out. But so far it's doing good. Haven't figured out the fuel mileage yet, but so far we're pleased with her. Hopefully she'll keep on making our way home, and tomorrow we'll get a couple hours of sleep and then get back on the road and go pick up the pickup. But give you guys a side angle. She's squatting a little bit in the rear, but we're a little heavy on the trailer, so on the front. Yeah. Hey guys, I'll give you an update. This it's turned into quite the adventure. So the F350 had broke down on us, and then we got the Excursion over here, and we are broke down on the side of the road. CHP's behind us, you can barely see. We're in a bad spot, blind corner. Passenger rear wheel sheared off all 8 studs. I got a handful in the back and the wheel is gone. So yeah, it's sitting on the axle right now, waiting on a tow truck. They're gonna get us to Jackson, and we'll wake up in the morning and see if somebody in town has the stuff to repair. I got a handful of studs though. CHP officer and I walked down, followed the gouge in the concrete or the asphalt, and right where it starts, a handful of studs, but the wheel's gone. So yeah, well, we'll wake up in the morning and show you guys the carnage. The CHP doesn't want me outside anymore, so if I can, I'll try to record when the tow truck's here. We'll see you guys. All right, guys, we've got our rental truck with our trailer. We're trying to get our Excursion loaded up, missing a wheel. So I'm gonna get some light down there for you. So the Badland jacks are coming in, lifesavers. We got one underneath the rotor, and then one back here. And to keep that straight. So we're gonna get that to where we can get it as far as we can, and then we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do to get it up higher. So just figured we'd give you guys a video. All right, guys, it's Friday morning, 2 days into this whole thing, and we just got back this morning about 4:30 with the Excursion. We still got to get back over the mountain and get the pickup. But this thing, it's a 2024 Ram 2500 HD with the 6.4 Hemi. Amazing. I love the truck. It's the first time I've driven that particular engine too. But yeah, we got this Excursion back on the property. I'm gonna fire up the John Deere, probably lift up the rear end of the vehicle, and we'll just wheel it down and we'll do what we gotta do. But yeah, so it's more to our adventure. Last night, we get leaving Jackson on Highway 88 and not even 3 miles out of town on the highway, deer runs out in front. This is a rental truck. I got the collision waiver, so it comes out on the passenger shoulder. I swerve just enough to make it deflect, and we end up running it over with the tires and the trailer. No damage. Unfortunately, not great news for the deer, but yeah, could have made the night interesting. Well, we got fortunate. Did not do any damage to the truck, so totally cool about that. Yeah, so now we're gonna try to get over there this morning, pick up the Super Duty, the F350, and hopefully have an uneventful trip back. We're about 2 hours from us, Jackson is. So all right, we'll catch up with you guys once we get this unloaded and get ready to get back on the road. for this until we tear it apart. Luke's out here. We're doing this in the driveway. Super windy, so hopefully you can hear this. We're gonna get the brake caliper bracket off, get that rotor off, and see. Eventually, we'll have to pull our axle off and then get that hub off, so we can drive in our new studs. So we got new studs, new lug nuts. We actually got a set of wheels, got a new rotor, and then we'll see how the caliper looks. If it's damaged, then we'd have to order that. But we're gonna get started on this, and we'll keep you guys updated. All right, guys, give you an update. We had to stop for other projects, but we're ready to start pulling this axle half shaft out. So we'll pull that out, and then we'll take the bolts off and hopefully be able to pull this hub off. And we'll take a look and see what else we might need to get. The brake shield got damaged, but I'll see if I can straighten it out, and we'll go from there. All right, let me get this tore apart, and we'll catch back up with you. All right, guys, sorry. It's been terrible, so just trying to get this done before it starts snowing or hailing. Got the we pulled the hub off. I got new studs in there, put a new seal in the back, new roll ring on this end, so we should be all good. I cleaned and repacked the wheel bearings. They look really good. Let's see, I gotta torque these down once I get the wheel on. It's sitting on the ground. I think this goes to 80 foot-pounds. And then we'll get our new wheels on there, and hopefully everything's good. I gotta finish straightening out this dust shield a little bit more. Did a little bit of straightening, cleaning, breaking some pieces off. I think it'll be fine. I'll get the new rotor on there, and we'll see what's going on. I'm gonna clean all this up first. All right, let me get back at it. All right, guys, it's windy, but we got it all back together. Looks pretty good. We still gotta torque these bolts down. We got our new rotor. So everything's back in there, feels really good. So I'm gonna throw the replacement wheel on, and we'll show you guys how it looks. All right, we're almost done. All right, guys, it's all buttoned up. Excursion's ready for test drive. We got all the new used wheels on there. These are factory Fords from about that time frame. You would have seen them on an Excursion or F250, F350, but got all new lug nuts. Obviously, everything you saw that we put on this one. So now we're gonna take it for a test drive, and then I'll come back and retorque the lug nuts just in case these studs seat in anymore. But yeah, right now there's used tires. We have a line on another set. We're gonna put a new set of tires on this. But yeah, now we can get back on the road with it, do some driving. All right, that's gonna be it for this video. The next project's gonna be try to straighten out that fender once we get done in the shop with the Kubota. So we'll straighten out the fender and probably repaint the roof, and we'll be pretty much set. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one, and may God bless you.